The 10-minute drill.
This is a big one.
Covered by Universal Roof and Contracting. The difference is Universal.
On 1010XL.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hit it.
Yeah. All right, let's do some sports concepts and rationalizations. We'll dig deep here, ladies and gentlemen, and talk about the sports world. Look, WrestleMania was this weekend. It got some kudos. I didn't watch it. I guess it was a 2-night event. The only thing that struck me a little bit.
Kudos? What do you mean by kudos?
I've read like it was, it was a nice respite for sports fans. People like those who like WrestleMania enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Gronk being a part of it. So there's a lot of positives about it. I just thought, and I'm not. It is what it is. They did it, but they're wrestling each other right now.
Yeah, but I'm sure they're tested.
Yeah, I mean, have to be, right?
Yeah, if you're tested and you don't have it, you can't give it to someone. So those guys, I'm sure
must have been.
Yeah, I'm sure that all those guys.
But anyway, I read a lot of good things about it.
Most people, I mean, it's scary and it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
Most people don't have it.
Yeah.
I mean, a very small percentage of people have it, 3-4% of people in the whole country.
The NFL is full steam ahead, so a lot of work on what's going on in the draft. The schedule's due out May 8th, 9th. It's Peter King writes this morning that they'll probably do like a 12 and 14 game schedule off to the side just in case, depending on what happens. So that might be one reason why they push back the schedule. Might the international series get tossed to the side this year? That could happen as well, which would be a huge irony here in Jacksonville.
Yeah, it would be a huge irony, and I think it would be, in the big picture, bad for a Jaguar fan if that happens.
Yeah.
I do believe Shad Khan's insistency and urgency that he has to get this extra money or things could change, and if they can't go this year, it's just one more insinuation.
Owners across the NFL, including Khan, who've donated $1 million. I saw Colts owner Crazy Irsay
95,000 masks.
Find a bunch of masks and get them to his state. Obviously, what the Crafts did was absolutely incredible.
A lot of players have been
wonderful
doing the same thing.
Players are doing great things as well. Peter King writes about our friend Big Bo. Tony Baselli, in the span of 1 week at the end of March, all-pro left tackle, went from playing golf in sunny Northeast Florida to the ICU at the Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville, testing positive for and then battling COVID-19. Things were not going well for Baselli, as he told us, by the second day in ICU. When they couldn't get enough oxygen through his nose, he was feeling foggy. All I remember is the pulmonologist looking at me and saying something like, well, we'll see where this goes. We got to get your oxygen right, but if this doesn't work, we got to go to the next level. That scared the crap out of me, Tony said. So anyway, so he's in the Monday morning quarterback.
Does this? I'm going to ask you this, and I don't think it should. I'm not saying that. Is it a legitimate? Does it help or hurt, or does it matter for his Hall of Fame candidacy? There's a part of me that thinks this helps.
He said the next thought Baselli had through the fog of the coronavirus playing with his head was this: I'm going to find every one of you Hall of Fame voters who always tell me, don't worry, Tony, you got next year.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
I was thinking, man, there is no next year for me.
I wonder, in all seriousness, I think it might be that just little tiny push over the top. You literally reference, hey, we keep telling this guy, wait till next year. He almost didn't have it next year. Let's write this, let's get this taken care of right now. I think it's a help. Probably without a trade that you want to make, although now that Tony survived, knowing him and his competitors, he would trade it all if he got in July.
Gil Brandt, we'll talk to Tony later today. Is that
in January?
Have we confirmed with Tone today?
I assume that we have him for breakfast with Baselli. He's been out and about, and I think he's feeling much better. When I say out and about, I just mean talk and text and tweet-wise.
I'm efforting confirmation.
Yeah.
Gil Brandt has put his 16 top-rated players. The interesting one, again, is that Justin Herbert is ahead of Tua. Tua he calls a left-handed Drew Brees. Longevity more than anything is a concern. Justin Herbert, so much going for him. Very smart. Better speed than you think. Strong arm.
I would just say this about the longevity. And I understand Tua's been hurt a couple of times in college. But I would remind folks, there's been a lot of players coming in who mistakenly you worry about their health. Miles Jack, who wasn't going to play with a microfracture all the way down to round 2. He hadn't really missed a game or many games at all because of injury.
Well, he missed some this year. Yeah, he's missed.
But it would nothing related though to the free draft concerns.
No, I don't. It's still a risk, regardless. I mean, to me, if I'm gambling on a quarterback, I want playing quarterbacks nowadays. If you get a quarterback at 20, how old is Tua? Did you say he was 20?
Sounds right.
Anyway,
maybe 21, maybe.
If you get a quarterback at 20, 21 years old, I'm counting on 15 years. I'm not counting on 8 years. So, and you say, yeah, he's been, well, yeah. He's
I just don't think
he's both ankles and a hip.
Yeah, I just don't. And I don't have any science to this, but just me personally, I wouldn't worry about him getting injured any more than I worry about Burrow or Herbert or someone else getting injured. Me personally.
Oh, yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I definitely would.
Right.
Because if you're injury prone,
I don't know what injury prone means. If you have bad luck to get injured a couple of times,
injury prone means you get hurt every year. That's what injury prone is.
That's also some people call that bad luck.
And he's gotten hurt
it's not
three
like
times.
It's not a medical condition or a weakness. It's just bad luck.
3 significant injuries in 2 years. That's tough. But anyway, it would definitely factor into my discussion. That's all I'm saying. And there are stories like Willis McGahee comes to mind, or
he played very successfully in the league.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So guys who got hurt.
Yeah.
And
it's the other way. Some guys are never hurt, and then they can't stay healthy. Look at the receiver for the Bears, Kevin White.
Yeah.
Fantastic college football player. The Bears thought he was going to take him over the top. He's played like 8 games in 4 years now in the league.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Bears, tell me, right, it was announced on Friday that Nick Foles, the savior, is now just Nick Foles, the competitor, that there'll be an open competition between Nick Foles and Mitch Trubisky. Mm-hmm. I want you to tell me, at the end of the year, how many games has Nick Foles started and how many touchdowns has he thrown? And now I will bow to your theory on prone to injury, and it will now have to be attached to Nick Foles.
Also should be taken into consideration. I would say this. Nick Foles wins the job because Nick Foles looks good in practice.
He does, yeah.
So I would say Nick Foles looks like a quarterback, man. Throws a beautiful deep ball.
Big
kid, good arm. Nick Foles beats out Mitchell Trubisky. But then how long he lasts is anybody's guess. He's never played 16 games. Why would he now? Maybe it happens, but I would bet against it. If you're a betting man and you say, Daniel, Nick Foles, 16 games, yay or nay, I'd say nay.
Yeah, I would too.
But I hope he does. I mean, I root for him. I wish him well. The seeds of the last 14 teams to make it to the Super Bowl, 1-1, 1-1, 1-1, 2-1, 1-2, 2-2-2-1.
There hasn't been any,
seeds of the last
wild card runs to the bowl like we had there for a while. Remember, we had that little stretch
seeds of the last 7 Super Bowl winners, 1-1, 1-1, 1-2-2. Seeds of the previous 7 Super Bowl winners, 3-5, 2-1, 6-4-4.
Yeah, see, those days have been forgotten. I think that I don't know if there's anything that you can do from a strategy standpoint to make it translate, but the psychology of being home, of having a bye, playing a home game, and then playing to go to the Super Bowl really helps the 1s and the 2s. I mean, it is such a primrose path. If you're a 1 or a 2 seed, you get a home game, and if all you have to do is win a home game and you're playing to go to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
And
that will stay the same if you get a 1 seed.
If you get a 1 seed. But, yeah, the 2s, I think it is going to open up the bottom of the seeds now. The 1 seed, though, has got – I almost wonder at some point, Hick, if they don't revisit that. To give one team such an advantage over the rest of the playoff field.
It keeps the NFL regular season very interesting, and it keeps you making – you ain't taking that last week off if you're playing for a 1 seed.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
But there's also going to be so many situations where the 1 seed is locked up by the end of November or close to it. If there's not a second and third, if there's not a 2nd seed fighting for home field, I wonder what it's going to do to the last 4 games in a lot of years for some of those. In other words, the 1 seed is going to have it sewn up. Like the Ravens would have last year. They'd have been done at the end of November. No one was catching them.
What do you think? They're going to take the month off?
Well,
ensure that they get the 1
seed. No, not take the month off, but it takes away from any urgency. I think it could, like that competitive edge, right? Sometimes we wonder when teams either take things off or they don't play meaningful games, does that hurt the competitive edge in the postseason? Right? It's the time-tested argument. Do you rest people or do you keep them sharp?
Well, I'm not sure what I don't get it. What are you saying? That it's not going to make the regular season better, or is?
I don't think it makes the regular season better or makes it worse. That's not my point. I think it's more drastically changing the dynamic of the end of the season for fans and teams than we're thinking about.
I don't think teams will generally have the 1 seed sewn up. I think teams will generally be playing hard to fight for the 1 seed.
I think it's more likely that the 2 seed, now that it doesn't mean anything, causes a lot of shuffle there, matchup-wise and otherwise. Things that you would never do in the NFL before, as to like try and manipulate a playoff matchup rather than just making the playoffs, may come into play a little.
Why?
Because there's no 2 seed bye anymore.
Okay. I think that in the regular season, teams will be fighting for the 1 seed. If you get the 1 seed, then you get the week off and you're happy. Then everybody else is playing that first weekend. There's 6 games total.
No, I get
That's
all
12 teams playing, and you're sitting at home chilling. Now, it doesn't always work. The Ravens got that very scenario and lost at home to Tennessee. So,
now, last year in the NFC, they would have fought right down to the end anyway. The Niners, Saints, and Packers were all 13-3. But in the AFC, the Ravens would have pretty much had it salted away about beginning
what was
of
their
December.
record?
They're 14-2. The Ravens.
Who was second?
Bunch of
Chiefs.
12-4s, a couple 12-4s.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't think that's going to happen a great deal, is what I'm saying. I mean, I think it's more likely to happen what happened in the NFC than what happened in the AFC.
I guess my point is why I don't know. We got off in different branches. Back to your original point, it's not going to be all 1s and 2s. Now, the 2 has no advantage, I guess, and we've underestimated the complete taking away of a 2 seeds advantage, which I think over the long season, maybe just to further supplement my point, I think just giving one team an advantage in each conference is not a good plan. Mm-hmm. I think you should be rewarded more than just one team getting a bye. There's only one team now in each. It's going to give the best team an even better chance of winning it all, which kind of goes contrary to what the parity and the drama that you're looking for would say.
Peter King is talking about something that we have talked about numerous times, and that's Burrow versus Tua type thing. He said, if I were Miami GM Chris Greer, and I like Joe Burrow above everyone else, and I was concerned about Tua, I'd call the Bengals and offer 4 first-round picks for Cincinnati's first overall pick. Hear me out. Miami owner Stephen Ross has made a priority, one in the organization, to find the next Dan Marino, or at least some reasonable facsimile. At all costs, a franchise quarterback must be procured pronto. Miami holds 5, 18, 26 in the first round and they got 5 first-round picks the next 2 years. Trading 5, 18, 26, and one of next year's first-rounders, let's say 16, would leave Miami over the next 2 drafts with a 1 pick in the first round and 4 in the second round. If you're Greer and you got questions about Tua's long-term health or Justin Herbert's upside, the sensible thing is to use a huge chunk of draft capital. As for the Bengals, the only way I would say yes is to the deal is if Herbert or Tagovailoa is 1B to Burrow's 1A. They'd have to be very close.
Is he suggesting that that's what they should do, or are they thinking about doing that? If I were a Dolphin fan, I'd scream from the mountaintops, no way am I giving up all that.
You wouldn't?
No.
If
all 3 of your first-rounders?
4 of your 5, yeah.
No way.
If I thought Burrow was the guy, I'd do it. If Burrow was Andrew Luck, I'd do it.
I would say this. I wouldn't go by my thoughts. Yeah. That's too much thinking. That's.
Well, what are you going to go by? You have to.
I'm going to go by. I've got a guy here that. My thoughts aside, plenty of people say is awfully close to the guy that I'm giving up 4 first-rounders for.
Well, by the way, also keep in mind that you probably have to give up. You can sit at 5, but you may lose them.
You're not losing both of them. You get one of the 2.
No, you're not.
Herbert or Tua?
No, Tua or Burrow.
Well, correct. Yeah, you might not. Yeah. Might want to look. If you want me to move 1, that's fine. But you're talking about 4 of my 5. That's like,
well, if you want the number 1 pick,
Again, but we've talked about this. I don't think the difference between Burrow and Tua is 4 first-round picks. It might be. I'm not saying that you wouldn't want, if you really love Burrow and you're positive and you want to put something together to move up. But I think Peter's crazy if he thinks anybody's giving away 4 first-rounders to move up 4 spots.
I think the opening game foe for Kansas City. Now, we don't know for sure there will be games this fall, but should there be, we'll be at a huge disadvantage. The top candidates are Houston, New England, Atlanta. Houston will be adjusting to life without Hopkins. New England to life without Brady. And Atlanta, well, does the league really want to put a team with a questionable defense that was 1-7 last year? Atlanta was 1-7 in midseason.
Yeah, then they got hot at the end, remember?
Had to lose key guys due to cap tightness on the first game of the new season. That would all work for Kansas City, I guess. So that would be interesting.
Oh, these are the opening opponents?
Potential, yeah.
Who were they again? I'm sorry? Atlanta?
Houston, New England, Atlanta.
I'd say New England. I mean, does anyone want to see Houston, Kansas City? I get the feeling that Houston is a lot like nationally, when you look at them, they're about as attractive as Jacksonville and Tennessee.
I want to talk about Brady when we come back. It was a good article, I thought, an interesting thought, just about the split up, Brady and Belichick, and there is a okay, let's see who's better kind of competition going on here.
Yeah, and that didn't happen with Joe Montana and Bill Walsh, did it?
No, nobody said that.
That wasn't.
But
I didn't even think it though.
Huh?
He had Steve Young coming right in.
Well, that's true. But this time they're and by the way, if Bill goes and procures a quarterback who makes them 10-6 and Brady goes 9, I mean, it's very interesting.
I think the answer is going to be all of the above.
Yeah.
It's good. It was both of them. And I think Brady's.
I'll always say it was both of them, but we always remember
I'd say it's more Brady.
We tend to remember what we've seen last, and Brady at 42 is going to Tampa Bay. And again, if he's average,
now look, I know Bill Belichick has become a better coach, but you look at Bill Belichick and what his record was with Drew Bledsoe as a starter. What his record was with, I think he may have,
and those records will be further added to here in the next couple years.
The records for Brady
without Brady.
Oh, without
Belichick
Brady.
Without Brady.
Okay. Do you think that the Patriots are winning the East?
No.
You don't? Okay.
No.
Well, good. Well, that'll be fun to talk about when camps
that.
are open and footballs are flying and we're into August and it's time to make picks.
Probably
I think we're headed there, by the way.
Shame on me for that, but no.
I don't think we're staying in isolation and shut down till September. And I know there's a debate on that, and I don't have any inside track or information. I think sports are going to be flying and playing here,
I was talking to Roger and Donald on Saturday. I worked my way into the conference call, and I heard
Were
some
you on
things.
it?
I'll share them with you later.
Did you hop on or no? Because you can do that. That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
You are fake news.
Yeah, yes, you are.
I am.
It's the Monday Morning Quarterback, divorcemenonly.com. What caller would you like to – are we giving out a prize back?
No, we got no prize back right now. We got a drill bit
Forget
bracket
prize.
challenge presented by the Edge Group and the Beef Drop-Ins in a neck-and-neck with Milwaukee, 56-44. So
pulling for the drop-ins.
200 votes, and we'll see if the 4 seed can hang on. Good luck.
All right, gang, you need to sell your house. The Edge Group buys houses for all cash. If you want to sell your house, they'll give you an all-cash offer in just 24 hours. This is right now. Still going on, and they can close within 10 days. Don't pay thousands of dollars in commissions. Don't let your house sit on the market just waiting for an offer. Call the Edge Group and get an all-cash offer right now. They're standing by at 904-474-5851. Doesn't matter if the property needs repairs or if there's a tenant living in the house, whether it's old or new or needs repairs. The Edge Group wants to give you a guaranteed all-cash offer. They won't charge you a penny in commission. No risk, no obligation, doesn't cost a penny to find out what the Edge Group can do for you. If you like cash and you're having trouble getting rid of a property, then this is just the perfect combination. So call right now for an all-cash offer on your home, 904-474-5851. That's 904-474-5851. It's the Edge Group at Keller Williams Realty.